Good morning. It's Monday. We're going to start the week off with a nice day and hope we miss the rain tonight and tomorrow because we need a few good days. We need to string together 3 or 4 dry days in a row instead of this 1 to 2 days at a time thing that we've been getting. Anyway, Dad's spraying this morning, Phil's getting the bean planter out, and we are going to go run the disc for a little while. Alright, well, we are getting started here. So we are pulled into a big field just down the road from the farm here. We've got 128 acres going that direction. And then we've got another 60-acre piece just across the lane on the other end of it there. So we can work here for a while. If we can get this 128 done, that'll be enough to fill the plant today. And we should be good. And then we can go back to field cultivating if we need to. So a couple of things to update you on. Number one, the 8430. So the reason we are using the 9R on the disc is because yesterday I was discing with the 8430 and the coolant level temp got hot. It said it was overheating on me, so I stopped and let it cool down. We took it back to the farm and there was some coolant leaking out. It looked like it was coming out of the overflow on the expansion tank. But there was some staining on the side of the block. We're kind of wondering if it might be a head gasket. So we decided to switch tractors and park that one. After consulting this morning, I'm not quite ready to call the dealer on it yet. I think we might hook it back up and run it some more and try it. So a couple of days ago this happened. And the cap that goes on the top of the pressure tank, like your radiator cap, the gasket on it was cracked. And so what we thought was happening was the coolant was expanding as it got hot. It was overflowing into the expansion tank or whatever. But then as the tractor was shut off and would cool down, it's supposed to suck it back out of that tank into the pressure tank and into the radiator. But the gasket on that cap was cracked and it was allowing it to suck air in instead of pull the coolant out of the expansion tank. And so every time it would expand, it would push more and more into the expansion tank, therefore letting it overfill that tank and come out the overflow tube. Well, that's what it looked like it was doing yesterday too, except for the little bit of staining up higher on the block. And then it got hot and it overheated, and so I thought, oh shoot, we have a bigger problem. But it turns out when they changed the radiator cap last week, they did not fill the pressure tank up, thinking that it would suck it out of the expansion tank. But I'm not sure that's the case. And so we may have just been running it with low coolant, and it's worth filling the pressure tank up, putting the cap on, hooking it back up, and running it again to see if if it's still leaking, and 2, if it gets hot again, or if that sort of fixes the issue. Because if we're looking at a head gasket, we're going to be looking at a head gasket regardless, and it's going to be a $10,000 to $20,000 repair probably. I don't really know. If it just happens to be low coolant, it's a $100 jug of coolant, or whatever a jug of coolant costs. So it's worth exhausting all possibilities before committing to a major repair that may or may not be necessary. Because if that is what's necessary, it's necessary regardless of what I do to that tractor in the next day or 2. Well, this is all working up really well. Yeah, going good. So Dad's on his second load of spray today. I saw him just go down the road, so he should come and take over for me when he is done. But he might have had to go to 3 fields for this one load. I don't think he'll have a 3rd load, but we'll see. And I just got a call from the well driller, and guys are on their way. So they're probably an hour north of us, so it's going to take them a little while to get here. But we'll have to, hopefully Dad will be here by then, and I can go up and kind of show him where we're going and where we want the well. Otherwise, we'll shut the tractor down and drive up there. I've got a pretty good head start on Phil here, plus he's got that other 90-some acres that he can plant this morning, so I would love to plant some corn today. I've got like 35 acres that we can plant. We're going to plant. I would love to do more than that. I just don't know if we have any ground that's ready. The fields that we have remaining to go to corn, they're not dry fields. They're all wet fields. And they just need an extra day, and I don't know if it's going to be good enough today or not. So we'll have to go look around when we get time here later this morning. Check that one that we dissed yesterday, see if it's dried out enough we can hit it with the field cultivator this afternoon or not. But we're moving and we're getting stuff done, and that's the important thing here, is at least something is moving. All right, Dad came and took over the disc for me. He got done spraying when he needed to, so parked the spray in front of the shop here. The AC hasn't been working on it because of, well, this mess. So this is what they call a vapor condenser, and it had started to kind of delaminate, I guess, or these pieces were coming off and sort of hanging down. It's been like that for years. Like, I remember, I think maybe even when we bought it, it was starting and somebody had used some silicone to try and hold it up. And, well, it's gotten worse. And the hood latch up here started to get into it and it broke it. And so now it doesn't hold Freon. And this latch went bad and doesn't keep it pulled tight. So it was pushing out and rubbing. And anyway, that's bad. I got a new one. Kinda. Let me explain. So that piece from the manufacturer is $1,700. I found this one online for a $1,200 savings. It's not identical, but I think it'll work. It looks like it might work. So we'll find out. My Uncle Jack is he's the AC guy around here. And so we're going to let him mess with this, hopefully this afternoon, and make it work. All right. Well, anyway, hopefully that works, and hopefully he comes this afternoon and can work on it a little bit. If it doesn't, then we spend a bunch of money. Anyway, we're going to go up to the field where we're getting a well drilled. 360 Ranks, I think. The guy hasn't called me. I mean, they called me to tell me they were on their way and said that the guys would call me when they got close, and they should be here by now. But I have not heard from them, so I'm just going to go up there and make sure that they're not already there. And then we might see if Phil needs anything, and we're going to look around at some fields and see if there's anything, or what's ready. See if there's anything else that's ready. I know I looked yesterday extensively, but it's been warm and sunny, and things are drying fast, so maybe we got something else we can do. There's neighbor's planter off to their field. They also pull a tank. I get lots of comments about that and how we plant corners and why would you pull a tank and stuff, but it's pretty common around here. A lot of guys do it. Well, the well driller's not here yet, so maybe it's okay there. I was gonna say maybe we need to move that thing out of the way a little bit. I think I'll move it a little bit anyway. That's the ideal spot for the well, I think. So we've got these crates we need to get broken down here. Yet this is all just trash. We need that hose, and there should be a coupler in here. Yep, gasket and some chains. So, okay. Might try and move this a little bit, but yeah, basically we're gonna go right there. It's close to our electrical panel. It's close to where our electric feed is gonna come from. Eventually, it's easy to set a fertilizer tank there for doing our fertilizer injections and stuff. I just want that thing to be out of the way for the guys drilling the well, so I might just walk it up here out past that tree a little ways, but I don't really want it out in the field when we have to side dress this corn. We are still going to put anhydrous on here, even though I can put lots of nitrogen on through that, but when we're going to, we're going to side dress it with anhydrous too. So yeah, hopefully these guys call me soon. Driving it. It's a little awkward. Okay, well, we're out of the way here for now. You guys want to see something cool? I think I can do this. We're going to put the hose into automatic. Okay. And we're going to go forward slowly. Now, when I push that override button, it's going to start walking forward that way. And it should push this hose out kind of to match as we go. I don't know how well I'll be able to film it, but we'll try here. Oh, we got to push forward. There we go. So now the hose is turning. See how it's pushing it out? So that's how it's going to lay it out and not drag it. It's actually pushing the hose out as it moves and not pulling it off the reel. It's using this thing to push the hose out. That is really cool. And then we'll go the other direction and it should pick it right back up. That's awesome. And see, that end is exactly where we left it. It's dragging it a little bit now, but it's designed with lots of sensors and stuff to keep that from dragging. It's really cool. It's really cool. We'll get it working here. After another couple of weeks, we might actually be able to turn this thing on and run it. So I'm getting super excited for it. But anyway, we're gonna leave it right here for right now. I think that works. Maybe engine stop. There it is. Well, I've been driving around looking at some other fields, seeing what I can find. This is the one that we worked yesterday with the disc. Tried to do it with the field cultivator and it didn't work. Came back with the disc and got over everything. I don't know. It is dried up. A lot of this would go, but this isn't the bad spots of the field. Yeah, it just needs to be leveled up and smoothed out. Ugh, I'm not real happy with it. I think it'll go though. So when Dad's done discing the field that he's in now, we'll hook the field cultivator back up. Dad left his phone in my truck, so I brought it to him over here, and it's rare that I get to take video from outside the equipment, so we'll do that as he drives away and maybe grab a thumbnail. Overpowered. That's what we are there. Overpowered. But it's working up nice. We've got another one of those, it's not the bearing, but the peg that we had go bad on that Packer a week ago. We've got another one that's rounded off. The bearing's not out yet, but it's not ideal. So we're gonna run it, finish this field, and then we probably gotta fix that before we do anything else. Maybe tomorrow when it's raining. Or at least they tell me it's gonna be raining. Maybe it won't be, I don't know. It'd be great if it's not. That would be awesome if it's not. All right, we are gonna get the corn planter out because I would like to do something today. And the corn planter will allow me to do that. We've got 35-ish acres that we can plant, so we're gonna get everything loaded up and ready to go and do that with the anticipation that we're gonna do another 80 later tonight. Any chance they're the same hybrid? Nope. Okay. We got to empty out what's in the planter, put a few bags in off of a box, and then we'll go plant some more. All right, I was looking at the seed plan a little bit on what's supposed to get planted where and what fields are ready and that kind of stuff. And well, you remember last week how I said that eventually we're just going to go and we're not going to worry about the plan and we're going to go. Well, we're doing that a little bit. We're switching some stuff up. We're going to use this box of this variety that I have here. We're just going to put the whole thing in, and it's not really where I intended it to go, but it's 108-day corn. We're going to save the box 103-day that we were going to use on the second field today, and get some of the fuller season stuff planted first. Especially this 108 that doesn't have great dry down. It's a little wet in the fall usually. I don't want to plant it in June. I want to plant it now, so that's all right. The only thing it really affects is that my prescription rate maps that vary by hybrid aren't set up for this. So I might be able to make a new one from the tractor cab, have it ready to go by the time we get to this field, the second field. So the first one I'm not as concerned about. So between the two fields we need 43 units. There's 45 in that box. That means we just put it all in there and call it close enough. We are only going to put enough fertilizer in for the first one, so we're not so heavy carrying all that around the whole time, especially this first field that's got a muck pocket in it that we do not want to be heavy in. And then we'll come back here and reload, but we got to wait for Dad to get the field cultivator going anyway. I'm taking a little bit of a gamble putting all this seed in because if Dad gets over there with the field cultivator and says, it's not going to go, then what do? Pain in the butt to empty it all out, but we'll do what we got to do. And I know I'm the one being picky here because most people wouldn't change hybrids ever. They put the full boxes in, they go plan it out, and whenever they run out, they put the next box in. I try and plan stuff out a little better based on what hybrids would fit what fields and stuff like that. This 108 they were putting in, she's pretty flexible. It'll go anywhere I want to put it, so not a concern there. The biggest thing is it does need a little bit higher population. We need a higher seeding rate on it. So for the first field here, we're just going to type in 33, maybe 35, 33.5 population, plant it at a flat rate, call it good enough. The second one, I'll try and get a script made up, or I'll use the existing script and just add 10% or something like that. Should get us to where we need to be. Okay, we got our seed in, but I just got a call from the well driller, so I'm going to run up to the field there, make sure they're situated and everything's good, and they know where and what and all that, and then we'll come back and get this ready to go. Yes, yes, it's happening. It's happening. They are about to drill the most expensive hole in the ground I've ever seen, but that's okay. It's okay. We need the water. It's going to make everything work. I'm so excited for this. So these guys don't need anything from me. They know what they're doing. They know where I want it. And they're going to let them get set up. Maybe we'll come back up later today and see how it's going, but it's a good deal. Well, we're back here. We'll let the well drillers drill. Dad got done with a disc. He's over there. He's going to get that unhooked and hook up the field cultivator, which is good because we need the field cultivator moving. It's such a nice day. Things got to be drying, but we need it. We really should be letting stuff sit until tomorrow, but it's supposed to rain tonight. So if we're going to get anything done, we got to go. I'm going to help Dad get this tractor hooked up to the field cultivator. He got it unhooked, but I'm not going to be able to do anything once I get that 35 acres planted until he gets done with the field that he's going to. So it does me no good to hurry up and wait. So while he's getting a bite to eat, I'm going to hook this up for him so he can go. Okay, that's done. We can go plant now. Okay, well, we're on our way to the field. It's right down here. So this is the field that we planted last before that rain. I don't even remember when the last time we planted was. It's been a few days. That's planted. You can see we've got this corner with the muck pocket there. You'll see what we've got to deal with in this next field. This is usually like one of the last fields, so I'm really surprised that it's going, but phone call. That's it. Okay, here's our farm, and it's odd shaped. I'll show you. So we don't have a straight side other than this little bit right here, which is what we're planting now, but we got some weird dendros in the back. We do have straight dendros on the front. This side, there's a big wet hole there that actually extends quite a ways out into the field. It looks like we go around. The center here is all big muck pocket that we just float on. Should be fine. Should be fine. Hopefully it's fine. Anyway, that's what we've got. Go back to our regular view. Fertilizer's going on relatively fine. Map-based. Go to predefined 15. That's what we want. We're at 5 there. We're planting a straight 32,000 or 33,000 rate because of this hybrid. This one won't take long. It's a long, skinny 40 with all the stuff taken off the sides and a little chunk of wood, so we end up with like 35 acres, maybe 32, I don't remember. But as far as planter passes across this field, it's not very many. There's a part of me that wants to try and plant right through there. There's a bigger part of me that knows that's a terrible idea, so we've already put some ends on both sides of it, just one pass. And we're just gonna go around here and not get stuck in the wet muck. Make good YouTube, but I'm not doing it for you guys. Sorry. All right, just what do we got? Another round and a half here on the front side of this. Everything in the back is done, and then we're done here. And we go load up and get ready for the field where Dad's currently field cultivating. We might have to go look at it and see how it looks, but I mean, we're gonna plant it today, so it doesn't really gonna change anything. See that? I was like, oh no. Thought we were going down. I was just turning. Planter wasn't even in the ground. We're just making our turn. That'll get the old heart pumping. Flashbacks to the first field of corn with this planter when we got it stuck. I seriously thought it was going to happen again there, but we made it. It's all good. Last pass, heading out of here, and we'll sit around and wait for a while. See how Jack's doing with our AC on the sprayer. All right, we do have this field across the road to do. There's like 95 acres in there. This part of it might go. That part of it over there is really wet yet. I looked at it yesterday. Was hoping that maybe we could get in there. No such luck. It's one of the most highly variable soils as far as rolling and different soil types, black ground, muck, yellow clay knobs, just all over the place. And there's plenty of wet spots that I would not drive through with a tractor. I wouldn't even drive through with a gator at the moment. So that one's going to have to dry up a little bit more. There's the group of fields where Dad's fitting down the road about 3 miles from here right now that we're going to go to next. We've got the 78 that we fit yesterday with the disc that he's doing right now, and then across the river there's a 65-acre piece, and then there's that 15-acre triangle field that's usually flooded. It's not flooded right now, but it's not dry, so I don't know, we'll see if we can get what we can of it, or if we wait and go back. And then we've got a group of fields up north that has like 110, 112 acres total between them. And that's it. That's all the corn we've got left here. We still got to make it to Berkey yet, but it's wetter there than here, so we're just waiting on stuff to dry. Well, I thought I better come down and see what it looks like here and how the field cultivator is working second time over on this. It looks better, but she's still a little chunky. Have to slow her down a little bit with the planter, maybe. I don't know. Once again, I have an opportunity to film a tractor not from inside of it, so we'll do that, and then maybe I'll jump in and take a ride around once and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's just wet. Where that wheat was, it is gooey. This is not good. Not good. Well, it's going to need at least an hour or two for that to dry out anyway, so. Not plugging the packer up anyway. Okay, well, I'm happy with the job that it's doing. It's better, quite a bit better than what it was yesterday with the field cultivator. Well, it wasn't even possible, and it's making it nicer than the disc. So Dad's enjoying his time in the tractor there. We're gonna let him finish this up. Got maybe another hour, probably not even that long here. And we're gonna get the planter loaded up with fertilizer that we need to plant this field. I'm gonna run up now and check on how the well's going. And then Ryland has a baseball game tonight at 5:30 in the town not too far from here. So maybe I will go watch his game for a little bit and then come back and plant this. I can plant this in 2 hours. So even if I start at 7, it ain't no big deal. Question is, would I be able to get any more done if I come earlier? Chances are slim, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, well, I came to check on the well. Apparently they need some more equipment or something, but they just dropped that off and left. I didn't know. It's fine. We'll do it tomorrow maybe. I don't know, whatever. It's all good. It's here, they're gonna do it. Okay, planter is loaded and ready to go. We already got seed in, so we don't need that. Got all the fertilizer we need. Now we just need a field to go plant. Jack's got our new vapor condenser on. Line's all hooked up. He was vacuuming it out. I don't know if he's got any Freon in yet or not, but that should be about ready. He's out actually looking at the 8430. Let's see what we can find out there. Jack said he put 2 gallons of coolant in. That'll make it run hot, so maybe Maybe it's not a head gasket. I really don't know, but all of this up here concerns me. But I think we're gonna end up hooking it back up to the disc and running it and seeing what happens. This tank is already full though, so it's definitely gonna push a bunch out of there the first time it gets hot, and then we'll see from that point forward what happens. Oh man, it's painful just sitting around waiting, sitting around. Dad is done in that field, so I could go and plant right now. From what I saw of it, it really could use a little bit of air and sun and wind just to dry the top a little bit off and crust over so my road cleaners break stuff up, like my openers break through the crust and doesn't smear it. But now there's rain building to the west. That's not great. I'm trying to be patient. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to talk myself into being patient. It's really hard to do. We're gonna walk across the road and look at our wheat. Oh, you know what we need to do? Not quite. In about 20 minutes, we need to go over and flag my corn. Our emergence stand. We'll go do that. That'll kill some time. Oh boy, look at the weight here. You see what I see? Heads are emerging. It's time to spray wheat real fast. Not quite there yet, but we get a disease here called Fusarium head blight. It's pretty common, happens a lot, can be devastating to yield and grain quality. And so we spray a fungicide on to help prevent that. That fungicide is critical on its timing. We used to use a product called Prosaro, and it had to go on at Feeks 10.51, I think was the stage, which basically, as these wheat heads emerge, eventually here you will see them start to pollinate and you'll see the actual anthers hanging off the head. And when the anthers are hanging off in the middle of the head, that's the ideal time to spray the wheat with that fungicide. We're now using a product called Miravis Ace. It has a little wider application window. Basically after 50% of the heads have emerged, which we're probably in that. But the closer you can get it to that ideal timing of pollination, the better. So we've got a couple of days here that it looks like it's time to spray the wheat. So, not today, it's too windy today anyway. Not tomorrow, because it's supposed to be rainy, but Wednesday is probably our day to get all the wheat sprayed and protect this crop, because it looks like we're going to have a tremendous wheat crop. It looks really good. All right, Phil's done with the fields where he was, so I took him down to get his seed tender. It is now 5 o'clock. We're going to go over and do our emergence flagging on yeah, that field. If you watched yesterday's video, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you'll see when I get there. And then I'm going to go to my son's baseball game for like an hour or something, and then we'll come plant that field. Hopefully, it's not raining. Okay, so here's our emergence flagging trial. Yesterday we used green flags on day 1. Today we use blue on day 2. It's been 24 hours since we were here. Any newly emerged plants that we could not see yesterday, we will put a flag by. I can from here see 3 of them, so good. And I can see a bunch more just in the other rows, so it's coming nice. It's been warm and it was a beautiful day today, so I expect to see a bunch. So let's see how many we got. Well, we filled in a bunch today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 7 from yesterday puts us up to 20 of 32 emerged. So over 50%. We're going to call it within like a 30-hour window, because 48 hours ago there was none. So maybe a 36. I don't know, but that's good. I'm a little, it's weird to me because, so that was our last day 1 emerger there, and then we've got a big gap, and there's hardly any down here. It's really strange why this end of that plot has not come up as well as that end. I'm a little confused by that. Maybe I shouldn't be, I don't know. It appears we had a chicken litter pile right there. This probably wasn't an ideal spot to do this because it's probably a compaction related issue. Oh well. It is what it is. I can't change it now unless we go to a totally different field. So we're just going to keep watching this one. I've got a whole nother one of these kits that we will do somewhere else. But I wanted to do one of the early planted fields to see, you know, the less even emergence. Now the row right next to it here, we've got a whole bunch up right here. So I don't know. That's strange to me. We'll see what tomorrow brings. That end of the plot is pretty good. Let's see. I'm gonna guess we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that'd be the 12 gaps of the 32 of, 32,000 planted. So the white flags are 1/1000th of an acre, 17 feet 5 inches. We planted 32,000. There should be 32 seeds in there. And yeah, tomorrow's flags are yellow. It won't look as pretty. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. It's Monday. Monday is when we check our ultra early planted soybeans. Look at them, they're beautiful. You can row them. We're on the other end of the field from where we normally would check them because I was driving down the road, not down the lane on the Gator, but whatever. And they look really good. So I would imagine we're about done with emergence. We probably aren't going to get a lot more, although these ones came up pretty recently. You can see we've got leaves, the trifoliate leaves coming out. These are the unifoliates. That brown speckling there is likely herbicide burn from the Tendovo. No, it shouldn't be. These were sprayed before they came out of the ground, so that's not it. Huh. I might have to make some phone calls on that, figure out what's on those leaves, those brown spots. Can't imagine we've got some septoria happening there already. Septoria brown spot. Well, I suppose anything's possible. Look at that. Still got one coming. You gonna make it? I don't know. I don't have time, nor do I have the tools to do a stand count right now, but I can assure you it is efficient. We aren't gonna be short beans out here. They look really good. So there are, like right here, we've got a little bit of a gap, but it's not the end of the world. I think today's 7 weeks. Is that right? Are we 7 weeks from March 25th? Look at that. There's still a bean there. They will hang on forever, you guys. Like, no joke. These beans will last in the ground forever. Just hanging on and waiting to come to the surface. It's amazing. There's another one. Wow. I don't know if those will make it, but it's crazy. So, cool. They look fantastic. Yeah, go, go, go! Got a hit. All right. Well, it was good to come and see him. He got a couple hits, struck out once, fielded a ball. They're up 14-6 in the top of the 6th, so I think they're going to win. But it's 8U baseball, and it's just about understanding the game. So anyway, let's go get some corn planted. All right, we are in the field. We are unfolded. We're getting our monitor set up here. So this is the script for our in-furrow fertilizer. One thing that I don't like, John Deere, if you're watching this, I run multiple scripts. I have 3 different scripts that I run in every field when I'm planting corn. And this out of range rate here always goes to whatever the last one I entered was. So like, I don't want it to be 15, I want it to be 5. So I type in 5 there, gallons per acre for the out of zone rate, whatever, that's all good. So now it's good there. We've got 100% on our multiplier. Hit save, exit out of that. Now we need to load this one should already be loaded. So that's the same map, but a different rates attached to it. Now this one says 0. Why can't these just stay? I entered the same thing in every time. I wish they would just stay. So update that, John Deere, if you're watching. Multipliers at 100, everything looks good. And then we need to do it for the seed. Now the seed one, it's going to change a little bit. So this is a controller rate because in the last field we didn't have a script, so we were just running a straight flat rate. We're going to select the map that I made with 03B19, which is the hybrid that I wanted to put out here, but we have 08R52, which requires a little higher population, especially than these numbers. Now you'll notice we only have 2 zones here. That's because we don't have any high rate zones in this field. We don't have anything that is in that 200 plus average over the last 3 times that we've had corn on this field. It's not the most productive field that we have. So these are our lower 2 zones, but still we need it to be higher than that for this. And you'll also notice the outer range at 15. So the first thing we're going to do is fix that. We're going to put 32,000 in here. Now, the next time I pull into a field, it's going to put 32,000 as the outer rate range for both of my starter products as well. They're right now for this field, but the next time it'll load and they'll be wrong. But we want to change this prescription multiplier to, let's say, 105 and see what that does. So right now the script said 28.7 to 31.5. Now it's up to 30,100 to 33.75. That's still not quite enough. So I'm going to go to 110. That's the range that I want. So in our low zone, the red areas, we'll plant 31.5. In the green areas, we'll plant 34.6. I'm happy with that. If we had a high zone, this hybrid would be planted close to 37,000. So we're still maybe, we're about right. We're about right where I want them. So, okay, so that's done. Everything else should be set up and good to go there. Hit OK, and we need to get our vac fans running and our fertilizer pump running. And then we go menu, seed star, we hit this fill button, we tell it OK, we hit the fill button again, and it kicks a little bit of seed out, some dust out of the vac fans. But now our meters are all full. Good. We're going to turn on our controls for the in-furrow fertilizer, and we're going to page over to this screen so that we can see our 2x2 fertilizer. We're going to go guidance, select track. We want the north ends. Maybe I want a curve track here. We're going to go north ends for right now. It's a straight track, and then we're going to go a curve track when we get to the other end, but yeah, we'll be fine. So we're going to turn that on. We're going to have to shift it to get it in the right spot, but we can do that from this screen. Let's go. I often get questions about how we plant corners pulling this tank. It's not that hard. I'm pretty good at it. Someday I want to take the drone and put it up and show you when I do a corner of a field. Not going to do that here, but this one we happen to farm the field right next to it. That's beans that Phil planted, so I can overlap it a little bit and we can just get lined up in this corner and go. Or maybe a little close to the road, but we'll call it good enough. So these rows go up here and then they kind of curve that way, and they actually curve all the way around over to those willow trees? No, not willow trees. What's the name of those? Maybe they're willow trees. I don't know. The trees over there in the wet hole. And I'm going to want to record a line for that. These ends didn't work up real nice. They're a little rough. Let's back our speed down to 8 for this field. We'll just kind of watch, at least for the ends here, we'll watch our ride quality and stuff once we get out in the field and see what it looks like and the singulation and spacing and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to back her down a little bit on the speed side of it. So once I get up to here, what am we going to do? How are we going to do this? When I had the 16 row, it's basically 16 rows that it kind of curves over and offset. So I would just dead end this one and then the next one would come all the way through. Now I feel like I'm going to have to make a curve. So we're going to get ready to do that. We're going to hit guidance. We're going to hit set track. We're going to hit new track, AB curve, track 1. That's fine. But as soon as I hit OK, it's going to kick my auto steer off. OK. Start recording, and now it records what I drive, and then we can just swap back to that other one once we get back to it. So we curved around there. There's a filter strip along the river, which is right there. There's the bridge. We're just going to follow this curve around, stay along the side, and like I said, it curves all the way out over there. To about right there. We'll stop, we'll hit done, we'll lift up our planter. So now we've got guidance lines that follow that curve. We'll get started here and turn, line up with the next one. Now I'm not going to follow the curve all the way back around. We're going to put a set of end rows that kind of dead end into that first pass that we did along the ditch there, or the river, filter strip, and then we'll kind of cut in back in along the road. That way we don't have 48 end rows along that side. It's real hard to harvest those sometimes. Yeah, I got the planter in the ground too soon there, but whatever, it'll be fine. Why am I so far off here? What the heck? We're not on our line. I hit resume and it didn't follow it. Now it is. Okay, it's distracted me. Oh well, now we got a gap. Good thing I made that line. But now I'm going to take over and we're just going to steer it straight into the end. Let the section control shut all the rows off. Like that. Pick the planter up, and then we're going to do the same thing going out of it over here. Until we catch our line, we're good. We'll let it follow these curves until we get back to our straight line by the road. One thing I really like about having a GPS receiver on the implement is the implement guidance, because it's actually recording where the planter goes for that line, not where the tractor is. Tractor doesn't matter. What matters is the planter. But anyway, now you can see we're almost back to straight along the road. So we're gonna just hit this swap button and then re-engage the auto steer, and we're right back on our line going that way without ever picking the planter out of the ground and stopping anything. Super easy. I like that. And then our front end rows are done, and then now we'll do the start on the east side, and we'll go in the back where it's super wet. See if we can get stuck for you guys. So we basically just have from the road to where this little filter strip stops that's straight on this farm, and then we got to curve out around this and the trees and whatever. So this is where I set my guidance line from. We'll curve out on this first pass. The next one will just overlap. It is not a big deal. Yep, this first pass along these trees in the shade here, it's rough. It was wet. It's pulling hard, but it has dried out considerably in the last 24 hours. And it's not great conditions, but it's not going to stick to our gauge wheels, and we'll be able to at least get seed in the ground. I don't know if it'll grow, but we can get it in the ground. I know, I move my camera around too fast sometimes. I see it when I'm editing and then I forget. It's pulling hard, but I don't think we're going to get stuck. Not cutting a rut. See how this corner is. It was about the worst of it was these end rows here in the back yesterday, so. Alright, I'm just going to put you guys down because it's too hard to film it and drive it. Oh, I'll do my best to show you this corner here. And then I'm going to set you guys down, even though it's wet. Yeah. So, pull straight up into the corner as far as you can go. About there. Until you hit the trees. Lift the planter up, wait for it to be out of the ground. So you do not back up with the planter in the ground, ever. Back up. Watch your screen here, so you know when the tank starts getting crooked. Like that. Go back forward, turn sharp. Get your guidance line selected. Do I have these? East, south ends, that's this line. Okay. Get your tractor where it needs to be. So the edge of the planter is on the edge of the field. It's way too wet out here. It's way too wet. Set the planter in the ground. Yeah, I missed a 40 by 40 square in the corner. So what? Who cares? Shift your line, hit the auto track button, and go. That's how I do corners. I'll show you from the drone sometime. Okay, well, I just did an hour live stream since I showed you guys how to plant corners. We're most of the way across this field. We've got, I don't know, 7 or 8 acres left, but I've got a low seed warning on bin 1. So we're going to get out and check it and see what we've got left to try and level them out and hope that we've got enough to finish here. But we'll see. Yep, tank 1 is low. How about tank 2? Not as low. Excellent. Well, we've got enough seed to finish, so we'll use my handy dandy scooper bucket and put some of that corn over there. Less corn there. More corn there. They're relatively even. It should get us to the end of this field. So we don't have a ton left to do here. We're up to almost 72 acres planted in this field. You can see the map here. We had a big wet spot over here we had to go around. We had a little one there we had to go around. We're finishing up this corner. We've got a pass there, and then we've got a couple rounds up there to do yet. So, almost done. See Seed bin 1, seed bin 2, low solution tank value. We're about empty of everything, but we made it. We're done. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, well, that's all I can plant because I don't have anything else ready. So I'm going to take this back to the farm and we're going to go take over for Dad on the 9R. Okay, well, we got a little bit planted today, so that's good. I'm going to go down and take over for Dad. He's got to be getting close to getting that field that he was in done. But we've got that 65 across the road from where he's at. But if we can get it done before it rains tonight, we should get it done before it rains tonight. So I'm going to try and do that. Back in the 9R here, doing a little field cultivating. And the dust, holy cow, is it dusty. This is corn stalks going 2 beams that we chiseled last fall to level out the tile lines. Just a little bit left in this field. His coverage map isn't working, so I can't really show you, but we aren't going to be here for long. There's a creek right here. Cuts this field up, and we just had to point rows between here and the house across the road there. Wasn't much. So we're doing some end rows now. We got to do the ends along the road, and then we're going to jump across. But we had to fold up to get across the road, but we made it across the road. We're getting unfolded here. We got our field pulled up. It looks like so. We're in that corner, 65 acres. We'll see how it goes. This is the one with the sand ridge through the middle and then the really heavy river bottom ground in the back. So we'll see what it looks like, but I think we'll be okay. It's had a day and a half to dry out, so. Well, my problem here is I can't see anything. So we're kind of going by feel and how it feels like it's pulling, and most of it feels okay. Trying to look at the previous pass, but we're doing skip passes, so I can't see it real well. But it feels okay. We're going to keep going. One of the issues that sometimes we get with sand ridges, like we have up here in front of us, is one, the weeds grow in it a little bit better, but two, the soil is so soft and flowy that sometimes it pushes in front of the packer. I won't be able to see that. So if the tractor starts bogging down, you set the wheels down on the packer, and hopefully that fixes it. Yeah, so now we're filling in between the first 2 passes. This is down in the river bottom ground in the back. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Not bad at all. Well, we're moving right across here. We've got about 31 acres done of the 65, not quite halfway. This river bottom ground in the back here is in so much better shape than it was yesterday afternoon when I checked it. Like, it's working up beautiful. That's gonna plant awesome. I hope it doesn't rain tonight so I can do it in the morning. We'll see. The weeds are giving me a little bit of trouble and clumping up on the sand ridge, but we're digging them out. The row cleaners on the planter will push them out of the way. It'll be fine. But yeah, you can just see how all of a sudden we go from the low ground to the sand, and then the pennycress is there. And yeah, it's not ideal. But we're working it in. We have made it to the end of this one. It is 1/4 to midnight. We're up to 69 acres of the 65 in this field. That's what a little overlap does to you with tillage. It pretty much always happens. 10 to 15% overlap. So just got to make one more round on these end rows. And then we have that triangle field right over on the other side of this ditch. I think we're going to try it tonight because we're here. Might as well do what we can. We have quite the collection of weeds on our shanks. Super fun. Oh well. We're going to fold up, attempt to get out this driveway without wrecking anything, go across the bridge and pull into this other little 15-acre triangle field that's a third underwater. Now, there's actually not any water there, but it is wet in the one corner. I kind of know where we can go and where we can't. We should be able to see it, so I think we'll make it and be all right. So most of this field's going to be okay. It's a touch damp on top there, but we can go through that okay. the next pass over, it gets really wet, and then it kind of L-shapes. It goes that way, then it comes up here, and it goes in front of us, and we can't go through that. That is wet. We could skip this field, come back to it later, but I want to plant it with the one we just finished, and the chances of it ever actually getting much better are pretty slim. Like, even last year when we were super dry in the spring, Phil didn't plant that low ground area because he knew that the beans weren't going to make it no matter what. I probably would plant it if it was dry enough, but we've never really raised a crop in that area. We're between the river on that side, a ditch or a creek on this side. This field floods. It's notorious for it. Happens frequently, and we take what we can get. All right, finishing up some Endros here. There you can see the shape of the field and the kind of L-shaped area that we could not get to. There's probably a little more along this edge that I could do, but it's pretty smooth. There's no residue on it. We can just plant what we can plant with it, and I didn't need to worry about making an extra pass through there just to get that. So we go back into the point and up the other side, back out to the road, and we're heading home for the night. 12:24 a.m. right now. Well, that tractor had a big day today. The old 9R covered about 330 acres between the 128 at Diskin and the rest of it with the field cultivator. That's a good day. Phil's still here. He's still planting. Also a good thing. That's awesome. He's got a bunch done. So he must be trying to finish that field before he quits tonight in case it rains tomorrow. And I didn't think he would get that far, but that's a good thing. So I'm going to shut some doors up here and we're going to go home. Thanks for watching this one. As of right now, there's no rain and nothing really imminent. Chances on the hourly are pretty low all the way through like tomorrow afternoon. So maybe we'll get tomorrow. Maybe we'll get to do something. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.